aspects. But do follow us on the socials at 3FM and 92.7 on X, on Instagram, and also on Facebook. It is, of course, International Women's Day. I'm very, very excited. As you can tell, we have a very special guest in the studio. Let's say good morning and a very warm welcome. We have Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, Special Aide to former President John Dramani Mahama. Good morning, Joyce.
Good morning, good morning.
How are we doing?
Very well, thank you.
A happy International Women's Day to you.
Same to you, and good to see you. You do look very much like my niece, actually.
Really? What's your niece's name?
She's called Sabrina.
Sabrina? What part of the country is Sabrina from?
Well, I'm sure you know what part of the country. She sounds exactly like you.
Oh, all right. Well,
our friends from the diaspora.
Absolutely. Our relatives from the diaspora.
Are you catching a little something, a little rish in the?
I listen to you almost every morning, so I can tell.
Oh, I see. Yes. Oh my goodness, good pressure. All right. Well, this is the news review segment. We have a couple of papers in front of us. We'll run through the headlines like we typically do, and then we'll get into the details. Johnny, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. The newspaper, the New Finder newspaper says Wales cries echo as tributes pour in for Dr. John Kuma. Banks post 8.3 billion Ghana cedis profit in 2023. Politicization of power outages, slowing industrialization, AGI decries. And it's Prof Jane as NDC running mate. Prof Jane again. The ABC newspaper says tears flow for Dr. John Kuma. He was a truly committed member of our party, according to Dr. Bawumia. Requiem mass for late Wafa Kwabena Kwache tomorrow, and MPP directs flags to fly at half-mast for 7 days in honor of late John Kuma. Bechebe Lamte interchange to be completed ahead of schedule, according to Asenso Boashi, right there.
All right.
Yeah, in the Daily Guide, Nigeria APC chairman visits in team. It looks like all the other headlines are quite similar. NDC confirms Naana John Kuma dead, MPP mourns. And an interesting one here, NAM1 induced public with celebrities.
Helen will leave you to it.
All right.
Lady Joyce.
Okay. And then I hope you return with a gift, because this International Women's Day,
being present itself is a gift.
Your presence is the gift.
It's a gift, yeah. Ideally, we should be sleeping.
But Ellen, with this is your lashes, you still want gifts?
Especially with those lashes.
This is to get home quickly. You know there's traffic on a Friday, so I blink a few times and then hopefully I'm home. Well, I've got the Daily Graphic and also the Ghanaian Times in front of me this morning. 2024 elections guarantor system is back. Indelible ink remains. NDC confirms Professor Opoku Agyeman running mate, and of course that story front and center across the different newspapers. And Africa needs more museums. That's coming from Kojo Yanka. John Kuma passes on. Very sad indeed. And we've got more of that if you check out 3news.com. DBG partners to invest some 1 billion cedis in women-led businesses. And of course, on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, you've got a picture of Professor Naana Jane Opoku Agyeman here. And then Guta appeals to government to remove COVID-19 special import levies to prevent business collapse. Deputy Finance Minister dead, another one that's front and center. NPP APC vow to deepen relationship to advance good governance in Ghana, Nigeria. Joyce, very exciting times indeed. As the expression goes, the cat seemingly was let out of the bag before yesterday. So the speculation was rife, and some people had already gone ahead to announce Prof as running mate. Was this strategic? The NPP have been asking, where's the NDC's campaign team? We want to know who your strategists are. Was that the strategy to announce it a day before International Women's Day?
Well, let me just say very, very beautifully this morning, happy International Day to all of us, each and every one of us. And of course, our men and brothers who support us along the way. On the verge of making history, on the cusp of making history. It couldn't have come at a better time or on a better day. So on the eve of International Women's Day, the NDC has gone out there to announce strategically the renomination of Naana Jane Opoku Agyeman. And something that I'm enormously proud of and love to say is the fact that she's also one of the foremost former senior prefects of Wesley Girls High School. So her qualities as a leader were actually cemented way before either of us or any of us here in Ghana even heard her name.
That's right.
So Naana's name has actually been etched in all the paths of glory. And I think that this announcement literally crowns all of it figuratively for each one of us. It is actually a very humbling moment. And I noticed that yesterday, largely all through the processes, even from the meeting with the Council of Elders, each time she walked past me, I'd look into her eyes and I noticed that she was very, very emotional. I remember saying to her when I was leaving, "Oh, Prof, please don't make me tear up. Please don't make me cry." You could tell the enormity of the moment, the weight of it. Remember that in 2020 it was actually a whirlwind sort of thing.
Right.
So I'm sure that it probably didn't even settle in, and then she had to start, jumping around all over the place and crisscrossing the country, etc. Over the last 4 years, watching Naana from where I sit and seeing her closely interact in our meetings, in all the small committees, moving around and representing the leader and flag bearer and, of course, the NDC, and on different platforms, I can only say that she has actually come into her own space. She has a very unique and soft approach to diplomatic politics. She is actually very approachable and accessible. Take all her qualifications into consideration, and you have a woman who stands very, very tall, one that all of us can be proud of. And what made me even more, humbled yesterday when she said she will give her all, her everything. I think that is all that anybody can expect of Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman at this time.
I mean, of course, as a woman, it's exciting news, right? It's something we haven't seen before, because if you listen to what the United Nations is saying, they're projecting some 130 years that it'll take women for us to reach the same sort of levels of power as men in the political space. And as you describe Prof's demeanor, you say she's quite calm. That's what I take from that. Is that what we need at this time? Because some will describe our political space as quite booga booga, quite a forceful terrain. Do you think that is the sort of disposition that can come in there and shake things up?
Sometimes I tell people all the time, don't be deceived by my calm exterior. Beneath that whole veneer of calmness is also a very firm and stoic individual. And so sometimes you see women are naturally, on the face of it, largely much, much softer. But ask yourself, Naana Jane started her career on the campus of the University of Cape Coast. She rose to the topmost position as Ghana's foremost female vice-chancellor of a public university. And no mean a university, the University of Cape Coast. Imagine all those streams of students,
right?
Both men and women. Imagine having to lead such an institution, to situate it in the context of a citadel of excellence that the UCC has become today. That must tell you that Naana is a woman of enormous strength, a deep thinker, a leader par excellence, one who appreciates and understands what we need at this time. Coming from a very humble beginnings of commander as a little girl, what do you think her dreams were at the time? Pretty much all of us, our dreams. Being that little girl in the little corner, struggling to make it, to compete with, to find yourself in Ghana's foremost girls' senior high school, to become senior prefect, and then to lead the University of Cape Coast to the many firsts that university achieved. She is a trailblazer in her own right, and that could only have been born out of a certain strength of character. And I think that is what we all need to appreciate, that Naana is a strong woman, well-defined, a woman well-placed. She has raised 3 young adults, amazing individuals. She has grandkids. She's a mentor to many. She's been a teacher to many. She has led many institutions of learning. And remember, she's currently also leading one other university in Africa. That is a women's university.
That's right.
So she's not a mean individual. She's a woman who has international repute in terms of our domestic education, our domestic politics, our domestic administration. She's a woman who needs no introduction. Naana can hold her own. And I call on each and every one of us, citizens in particular, look, we are actually currently in the doldrums. Ghana has been at a crossroads for quite some time.
We haven't turned a corner.
Well, there's no corner to turn because we've literally fallen into the gutter. What it is that we haven't even noticed. We also are tired of the arrogance of power. I think that is what most people would want to see the back of.
You call it the arrogance of power.
The arrogance of power. I think it's too much. Look, leaders ought to learn also that you also lead in humility, because largely the only reason why you lead is because people have reposed their confidence in you. You get what I'm trying to say? We walk the length and breadth of this country to ask for, literally begging for people to, vote for us, to elect us into office. We don't do that so you come and lord it over us.
You say that's lost these days.
Well, that's the point I'm making. The reason why people elect you is because, one, you've made pledges to them. You've made promises to them. You promise to be a better custodian, a better trustee, you name it. And then people indeed will give you their support or their backing. And then the minute you get the power, what happens? The only things that turn corners is people's pockets, people's attitudes that change, people who suddenly think that they know it all and no longer want to consult the people who put them there. I think we want to birth leaders who also appreciate the enormity of this responsibility that we repose on them. We expect to see people of proven credibility, people of proven integrity. You don't want to come in here in the morning and sit and you tell me something that you know that you certainly are not going to deliver.
Right.
You tell me something that you know has not been tested. You espouse theories that you know you cannot deliver on. And then you tell me stuff that you expect me to believe. You clearly know in your heart that you are misrepresenting the facts, but you are so happy to do so. Look, Ghana needs a safe pair of hands. We need leaders we can trust. We need to go back to the days when a leader would tell you, I'll be here at 6 a.m. and we'll make it. This morning your young lady said to me, oh, Auntie Joyce, I thought you were going to cancel. I said, I'm not one of those. At 6:20, I was here. If I can't make it, I'll say so. If I'll be late, I'll say so.
And thank you for making time for us so early in the morning. It can be a very tricky game to try and lock in our guests in the morning.
But
yes.
You see, I wake up at 4 a.m. to start my exercise. So my day starts at exactly 4:30 in the morning. So if I need to be somewhere at 6:15, straight off I leave home at 6. You see, that's what we talk about. People must keep their promises.
Right.
Keep your engagements. Make sure you keep a clean calendar and be specific about it. And learn to say no when you can't make it. I think that is who Nana Jane really is.
I talk about a safe pair of hands. So what about the synergy between John Dramani Mahama and Prof? What can the Ghanaian people expect from this pairing? How do they collaborate efficiently? What are the, shall I say, factors that make this pairing the right choice?
Well, these are two individuals who've known one another for a very long time. They've been very good friends. They've worked together in the National Democratic Congress on many issues. Remember, Nana served also as our Minister for Education for 4 years.
That's right.
A ministry that had enormous challenges, many issues to deal with. Note that they worked very, very beautifully together then. In the last 4 years since we've been in this space with Nana, she's been a fantastic support. She's led many of the manifesto committee proceedings that have been ongoing. She's participated actively in all the governance meetings that we've been holding. She actually is serving even almost as our linguist because she speaks at most of the meetings. She introduces the persons at most of the meetings. She leads the conversations at most of these meetings. And note that she's still doing all this while she continues to supervise specific students and papers and participate in her international activities and all of that. This is a woman who's got her groove on.
Well, time check, it is some 10 minutes to the top of the hour, 7 a.m. We're going to break briefly so that Johnny can have his bite. He says it's a special one for us on International Women's Day. When he's done biting, myself and Joyce will come back and we'll talk about some of the topical issues of the day. It is International Women's Day. If I haven't already wished you happy International Women's Day. Today we're putting women front and center. The theme for this year is all about inclusivity. We'll talk about that more as the show progresses. It's a special edition this morning, so do get comfortable. This is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. It's a good day to have a good day.